Now we're going to talk about being observed at a game or a tournament that a coach is scouting. Coaches need a reason to come see you play. They're not just going to take flights, get hotel rooms, leave their family and their teams, and come see you if they haven't. They have to have a reason. They have to have a trustworthy person that recommended you to come out and see you. Now, a benefit to this is that coaches, this happens constantly. Coaches will go out to see a player or a group of players, say at a game. These rivals are competing, or these two good teams are competing. They will go to see, 3, 4, 5 players, to check them out, see how they're doing. But what would happen was they would come back and scratch off a couple players from this list possibly. But then they would come back and add 3 or 4 other players that they noticed that were also in the game. So you might be, kind of under the radar right now, but if you're playing with or against some top recruits, this is also a good opportunity to get noticed, because this happened, on a weekly basis. Coaches would go out to see a player that they were already, on their list recruiting, and they will come back and add additional names of other kids that just showed up during the game and caught the coach's attention. So always understand that people are always watching. So understand coaches, sometimes they're actually going out to see a player that's already committed, or a recruit that's on their list that they've seen several times, or they're reinforcing another evaluation that another coach has made on their staff. Sometimes it cuts into their time of, trying to find new recruits, or actually going to support kids that are already committed. But this is also an opportunity to be seen, and if you can compete versus great talent, then this really helps your recruiting standing. Coaches are always looking. My advice is always try to compete versus, the highest talent level you can compete with. There's eyes, you get much more attention that way, and it's a way to see how you stack up among everybody else. But, understand that coaches are out there, and if you catch their eye, you catch their eye. You could have 0 scholarships, have 0 interest from anybody. But if a coach is out watching another player that they're already recruiting or commit, and they see, a very talented player, they're going to come back and they're going to add you to their list. They're going to start recruiting you. They're going to start calling around the area and finding out more about you. Another aspect of this factor is you need to not focus on your stat line. It's not necessarily about who had the most points or blocks or tackles, that kind of thing, whatever stats are important in your sport. It's about playing fundamentally sound, being really competitive, being a really tough player, helping your team, win, being a great leader, how you act on the sideline. So if you're stepping up and doing these things, it can be a game changer for coaches. Or if you're really good at one specific thing that is really important to your sport, this is a way to get attention from coaches, okay? So don't focus necessarily on your stat line and be panicked and worried that you didn't get enough touches, you didn't score. It's not always about that. Coaches are evaluating for all different types of skill sets, what's needed for their team, and just focus on playing as fundamentally sound as you can. Try to play mistake-free, be a great leader, and just help your team any way you can, and be very unselfish.